Hi, thanks a lot for joining me. We've got a lot of great questions, so why don't we just dive in with a couple of them. This one's from Cambridge. I live in Cambridge. I drive across the Longfellow Bridge almost every day, and it's just falling apart. They're starting work on that bridge soon, but we have so many other bridges that need to be repaired too. What can we do about fixing these before they crumble? Well, it's a terrific question, and a lot of people are asking that question, myself included. We have so much infrastructure in America that needs to be rebuilt. And frankly, we're living off of the investments of our parents and our grandparents. You know, whether it's the MBTA in Boston and goes into Cambridge, obviously, or, the Tobin Bridge or our tunnels. All of these things require investment. Unfortunately, the opposing party, the Republican Party, is simply not willing to invest in these kinds of things right now. And so we're struggling to be able to help America to stay number one in our airports, our air traffic control, our trains, rail, transportation, public transportation, all the things that really make a difference to the building of a community. And, way back when, the Republican mayor of New York, Fiorello LaGuardia, once said, "There's no Republican way or Democrat way to clean the streets." That's as true today as it was then. And we frankly have got to find a way to invest in America. I've proposed an infrastructure bank for the United States, where we would actually have a lending to make projects more affordable. It would not require grant money or taxpayer dollar expenditure, but it would leverage private sector investment in the kinds of projects that will make a difference. And where people don't pay tolls, or there isn't revenue to support that project, like the Longfellow Bridge, for instance, there we would free up money to be able to do the investment that fixes our other requirements around the country, whether it's bridges or tunnels, roads, what have you. So that's how you put America back to work. And that's what I want to do. I want an investment budget that creates jobs and reduces the deficit at the same time. And we are locked in a very tough struggle down here over these next weeks to try to get that. Here's another question from Billerica that echoes what's on the minds of so many of the people that I meet when I hold town meetings in Massachusetts, which I try to do as frequently as possible. This question says, "This economy hasn't gotten any better for most people I know. Jobs are still too hard to find, but all I hear from Washington is a lot of talk about the deficit. What are we doing about jobs?" That is the critical question. It is the single thing on which we ought to be the most focused. It is the biggest challenge to the United States of America, creating jobs. How do you create jobs? Most of them will be created by the private sector. But what we need to do is create the framework, the structure, if you will, for the private sector to be able to make the choices it needs to make. Number one, the biggest single thing we need to do is address the deficit and budget issue so that we send the marketplace a signal that we're deadly serious about reducing the deficit, being fiscally responsible, and creating a climate for further investment in our country. In addition to that, we have to make certain that people don't just take a meat axe to the things that make a difference to creating jobs. I don't want to see us cut education funding. I don't want to see us cut the job retraining so we can put people back to work. I don't want to see us cut the infrastructure investments that will help us to be able to put people to work directly by building America's infrastructure. And we ought to be moving whole hog into the new energy market of the future. That's where the jobs are. Millions of jobs could be created if America will move towards energy independence, greater security, much stronger economy, better environment, cleaner air, better health, all of those benefits, if we would move to the new energy economy of the future. Those are the biggest single things that will make a difference to unleash job creation in our country. And we need to continue to pay attention to the technology base of Massachusetts, whether it's biotechnology or nanotechnology or the other technologies we're so good at, because that's the other place where the jobs of the future and America's competitive capacity will be increased. Now, if you have any questions that you'd like answered, you can send those questions to question@kerry.senate.gov. Or if you'd like to ask a question on video, just upload your question to YouTube and send the link to question@kerry.senate.gov. And I'll include your question when I answer it here. As you know, I try to hold as many town meetings as I can, and it's a great way for you to come and share a real opportunity to have a dialogue and perhaps even have the opportunity to have your own question answered directly. And I hope we'll see you at one of the next town hall meetings that I do. Thanks for joining me.